Hello and welcome to Open, everyone. Happy New Year's to you. I'll be saying that the entire month of January. Of course, I'm Rhina Valentin, your host, Café con Leche, every Friday. And, always inviting you to get social with us online, that is. You can tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BronxNet TV or like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And, of course, while you're there, don't forget, follow moi on Twitter, Instagram, FB, Snapchat, Insta Stories at Rhina Valentin. All right, so it's that time of the year again. What time would you ask? Or do you ask, I should say? That's right. It is time for the DeAlmas Women's Institute. Visiones, annual Visiones, that is, and they've partnered up with CCADI, and they've come together for this year's 2019 Visiones Women of Color Retreat, Soul Brilliance and Divine Badassery, with its purpose being for women to radically awaken, heal, empower, and align with divine feminine spirit. And joining us to tell us more about the upcoming retreat, we welcome the Alma Women's Institute founder and director, Gloria M. Rodriguez. Hello and welcome.
Hi, Rena.
Again.
I know. Thank you so much for always having me on the show.
Well, I think this is an absolutely phenomenal way to bring in the new year.
I agree.
I think it's important that we introduce it to those who may not be familiar with it and or remind those who are part of it every year that that time has arrived.
Yeah.
To open up the new year, just cleansing yourself of what no longer serves and then renewing it and refreshing it with just these wonderful possibilities that are created within it. I think it's important for us to pass on to whomever's, going through whatever it is that they need to go through to eliminate what doesn't belong.
Sure. And you've had the personal experience of participating in Visiones and being one of the first members of the Visionera cohort. So you have, the practical experience of having gone through the program. So yeah, thank you.
Well, no, thank you for saying that. And, I always I'm trying to be generic about the way I'm presenting it because I'm not trying to impose it on anybody. However, from firsthand experience, it's just something that I really feel that everyone should experience. And I think it's a wonderful service that's offered by the Almas Women's Institute. And I look forward to it every year personally. So thank you for sharing that.
Oh, sure.
So this year's theme, which is a very fascinating theme, the title itself, I'm like, okay. It's like Soul Brilliance and Divine Badassery. Let's talk about that.
Well, every year we have a theme, and the theme kind of, for me, is created based on what's happening in our world and what's happening collectively with women. Globally and locally. And so, the intention behind the theme comes from a quote from Dr. Clarissa Pincola Estes. And if I just may read it for just a second.
Okay.
And it says here, one of the most calming and powerful actions you can do to intervene in a stormy world is to stand up and show your soul. Soul on deck shines like gold in dark times. And so we are living in some dark times right now.
Yeah, we sure are.
Right.
I know. It's a reality. I don't really want to talk about the policies, but just the fact that they had to have an argument or a debate on national television was really astounding to me. And with that, I say the only reason I say that is because now it's impacting a lot of people personally, right? Because they made their presence known in people's living rooms.
Well, I think that 2018 was a year where we saw, a lot of craziness. We saw a lot of craziness that impacted people on a very personal level. So the amount of anxiety and fear and emotional instability and depression and upset and anger that came as a result of the policies that were being pushed by this administration, I think, is very present. And so we want, in this workshop, we want women, particularly women of color, to really kind of go beyond and to be able to heal those emotions, to be able to become more heart-centered and express and show their gifts and their talents and their contributions and their light and their love and their compassion for themselves, and take that out into our communities, take that out into the world, and be beacons of light, right? And so, hence the title Show Soul Brilliance. Divine Badassery came to be for me is primarily because I think that we are being called, particularly women of color, are really being called to take action and to be badass, right? To take risks, to jump in there and be creative and offer up all that we have to offer up, to begin helping to shift this imbalance of masculine and patriarchal energy to more of a feminine one that's rooted in justice and rooted in equality, that is rooted in culture and gender and class and race, intersectionality, to be able to really embrace that and to then step out in the world from that place of strength, from that place of identity, and from that place of justice for all people. So this workshop is about being able to start from the inner, from ourselves, because the only way we're going to change anything in the external world is to change our inner world. And so, to really work with those kinds of narratives that we have internalized as a result of living in a society that has conditioned us in a certain kind of way.
Right, to basically repeat the self-limitations
Exactly.
internally.
Exactly.
The internal dialogue. I mean,
Exactly.
as we shared earlier, I participate in these workshops, and so I was curious to know, like, what's different about this year's workshop?
Well, this year I think what's different about it is what I just explained, that we're
Okay.
in these really dark times, where it is an imperative, right, that we show up and that we do it with the support of other women, right? I think that many of us do our own individual work, but we exponentially grow and heal and empower when we are in groups that support one another, that see ourselves in each other, that love one another, that really witness and also encourage each other to move beyond these imposed fears and limitations that we have, that we have internalized. In addition to which, we are partnering with the Caribbean Cultural African Diasporic Institute, which is the first time that we've partnered with anyone in terms of doing a Visiones workshop.
Right, and I also noticed that it's a new space, and so in the space that is being facilitated, is it a larger space? What's the cap this year?
Well, the cap is pretty open. I mean, we're doing the first night in the Caribbean Cultural Center, and then the second day, which is the full day workshop, where we're going to be offering it at the Riverside Church in Manhattan. And so that space is pretty large, so we're not really capping it, and we did that intentionally.
Okay.
This is our 20th anniversary of collaboration and doing partnership work with the Caribbean Cultural Center, specifically around women's issues, right? But we've been doing Visiones, and DeAlmas has existed for 21 years. So we're not a new organization doing this kind of personal, spiritual, political growth work.
Right, beautiful. And I'm happy to be a part of it, and we're inviting you to be a part of it. And so the website for people to register, because this is open to everyone, right?
Yeah, it's open
Women,
to everyone,
women.
all women, all
Right.
women of color. And we are actually doing a giveaway now, so you can check our Instagram account for that. And then we have a discounted price, and if you want to bring a friend, if you bring a friend, the price becomes even more discounted. So there are ways in which we are really offering it up to the community, because we really want women in our communities to be able to experience this without having to pay like $1,000 for a weekend retreat.
Lovely. Thank you, and thank you for always coming here and sharing it
Oh,
with
thank
our
you so
viewers.
much. I appreciate
And thank you
it.
for the work that you
Oh,
share with us
thank you.
and also provide for us
Well, it's always a pleasure.
in leading. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, once again, the Visiones Women of Color Retreat is taking place on January 25th and the 26th. And the registration is, rather, to learn more about the registration and the details, you can visit DeAlmas.net. And of course, follow DeAlmas on Instagram for your chance to win the opportunity to get there, get it for free. So, all right, you guys, we're taking a quick break, but when we come back, we've got, we're going to get to know the inspiration behind one of New York's finest artists. So don't go anywhere.